Hello everyone, TimeToGrind here, and today I wanted to talk about Neurodeck. And Neurodeck is a roguelite deck builder that tries to do something really artistic and unique, but forgets that it's a roguelike that needs to have a lot of replayability in order to succeed. And before we jump into the review, I do just want to let you guys know that I was given an early review copy of the game in order to make a video for you all. I never let that influence my reviews, I just like staying as transparent as possible. So Neurodeck calls itself a psychological deck builder, and what it means by that is it's all about facing your phobias and fighting through mental health issues in order to succeed. And so it plays similarly to Slay the Spire, though it feels like it has a lot less depth than games in the genre. In combat you have two main stats. You have your stamina and your sanity. Your stamina is almost like your mana and your sanity is your health. However, you aren't allowed to play as many cards as you want even if you have the stamina for it, because there's also an energy mechanic that only allows you to play 3 cards a turn. There are some cards that allow you to get more energy, but for the most part you're only allowed to take 3 actions per turn, and as soon as you are done, the enemy immediately attacks. You can also use your energy to draw a card or use items you've played from cards, or you can end your turn early to gain more stamina back. And I personally think that having the stamina mechanic and also the energy mechanic is not the best game design in my mind. It makes sense when you get later in the game because sometimes it allows there to be, really amazing cards that cost a lot of stamina, but I think it just personally doesn't feel right. You don't discard your hand each turn, which is cool because it allows you to keep situational cards in hand, but I think you could do this without having 2 different types of mana systems. Also, when fighting an enemy, you can see what they intend to do, and every phobia follows the exact same pattern. So every time you fight a phobia that you fought before, it's pretty much 100% exactly the same fight that you've already been through. Games like Slay the Spire will randomize health or enemy intent sometimes or more to make it feel more unique, and also this game has a very small amount of phobias to fight, so you end up having the exact same battle multiple times each run. And before I go into some more complaints I have with the game, I do just want to say I personally really love the idea of the game, and it does have a lot to offer. I really wanted to enjoy it because I love the concept of this being a game where you play as these damaged and hurt people that are facing their fears, and I love the animations of the phobias and the art on the cards, and honestly everything about the presentation to me is absolutely perfect. The game also has random events like surveys that you answer to get different traits, which are small passives, and it's really awesome to do the first time or two, but every time after that, if you want to unlock new traits or new cards in certain events, you have to purposely answer the survey in different ways because it asks the exact same questions sometimes. And so you keep going through several of the same phobia fights, going through random events, which I have to say, it feels like there's only like 5 different random events in the game, and then you get to the final boss. If you kill it, you unlock a new ascension level like Slay the Spire, and you unlock different starting variants of the characters. So I unlocked an angry version of the first character, which gave me a different starting passive, and there's obviously another character to unlock as well. My problem with the game though is that after playing for like an hour and a half, I was already bored. I had already seen what seemed to be all of the phobias, and the combat of each of them was the exact same. The events that contained the surveys started to repeat themselves, and I couldn't find motivation to continue playing. And I will say, like I said earlier, there is an entirely new character I could have unlocked, which I'm sure would have added some variety to the game, but if I couldn't even be bothered to put in 2 hours total into the game, my guess is it wouldn't have solved my core issues with the game. And I know that, I probably should have put in several more hours of the game to fully review it, but it got so boring and repetitive to me after just an hour and a half. Like, the cards themselves are somewhat interesting, and there are some unique mechanics and strategies, but when every fight is the exact same as the same phobia that you fought previously, it kind of loses the point. I honestly think that this game would have done a lot better if it was a story-driven deck building game instead of a roguelike, because when you make a roguelike, you really need it to have replayability, and the game is so repetitive that there is no point to replaying it. If the game had just doubled down with the story and presentation and used its deck building fights to carry you through the story, I think it could have been an amazing game. If the devs want feedback to turn the game into something better, I would say, maybe adding a campaign mode or something. I know that's not a, easy task, but I think that, the core gameplay isn't bad. There is something, to the core gameplay that is actually, kind of appealing. It's put in this roguelike format, and as someone that covers hundreds of roguelikes on this channel, especially a lot of deck builders, it just doesn't make the cut for me. There's so many better options to play if you're actually wanting something with a lot of replayability, which you kind of are if you're wanting to play a roguelike. I mean, the game has ascension levels and it expects you to go through those, but it needs to, not be super repetitive if it is asking you to do that. And so overall, I really wanted to like this game. I loved the concepts of showing off mental health and conquering your fears and everything, but the game doesn't make me want to keep playing past an hour or two, in my opinion. But I totally understand that this is just my opinion. I know that there are some people that actually have been enjoying this game, so if you have played Neurodeck or just from watching gameplay, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Also, if you enjoy roguelikes and deck builders as much as me, then consider subscribing and ringing that bell like all the big boy YouTubers say to see more reviews, live streams, and Let's Plays in the future. And speaking of Let's Plays, if you do want to see what a full run of this game looks like, then definitely check out the Let's Play I made for this game. But if you do end up getting Neurodeck and you're going to be grinding out some phobias, then I wish you all luck, and see you all next time.